Hey there, welcome back to my channel Evolving Being. There are several occasions where we get into a lethargic or a procrastination mode sometimes. During the lockdown, you may have expected yourself to be more productive as you don't have to step out anymore, but you may have realized that one cannot be expected to stay that productive throughout. This also happened with me, and when I get into something like this, here are the top 4 things that I do. Now I want to really share this with you so that if you feel lethargic or if you feel you're not getting your work done and want to increase your productivity, watch out for these 4 things and I'm sure it's going to help you. Number 1, make a to-do list. Now what I do is before going to bed the previous day, I actually mentally think in my mind exactly what are the different tasks that I need to perform the next day. And I keep it in my mind and I go to bed with it. So when I wake up, those ideas are still fresh in my mind and I carry it forward to the next day. Another smart thing to do would be to wake up and the first thing you do in the morning is make a list of all the different tasks that you need to accomplish today. And if you want to get into details, you can even give yourself time slots that from this time to this time you're going to do a certain task and so on and so forth. I usually try to bucket it in terms of my mornings, afternoons and evenings to give myself some flexibility. But a to-do list is very important as it ensures that you get through your day with a set mindset. Number 2, use the Pomodoro technique. Now, Pomodoro technique is nothing but a time management method. This was developed by Francesco Cirillo in the late 1980s. And what this technique does is it uses a timer to break down work into different intervals. And Pomodoro technique recommends 25-minute long intervals for one stretch of work and intermittent with small breaks. So it has 6 steps. Step 1 is decide on what task you want to do. Step 2 is set the timer to 25 minutes on your phone. Step 3 is get going, start with your task. Step 4 is as the timer rings, take a small piece of paper and put a tick on that paper that you finished the first Pomodoro timer. Step 5 is take a small break of 3 to 5 minutes and check the number of ticks that you've put on your paper. If there are less than 4, then take 3 to 5 minute short breaks. And if it's more than 4, then you need to take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes, which is step 6. And that's all there is. Once you're done with it, you can repeat the cycle again and continue doing work in 25-minute chunks. Now, I found this technique really helpful for myself simply because sometimes when I don't know where to start or I'm getting distracted by so much online plus updates on the phone, I want to just shut everything off and focus on work. And what I do is set a timer of 25 minutes on my phone and get started. And it really makes a difference. And some days where I'm more distracted than others, I keep a shorter timer, for instance, maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes. And I actually see my level of concentration increase in those 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe because I anticipate that there's a break coming towards the end of it, or I know it's a far shorter amount of time and I'll be able to get stuff done in that. So it has definitely worked well for me. You can modify it according to how it suits you best. And I'm certain that it's going to work for you as well. Put it down in the comment section below if you actually are going to try this technique or have tried it in the past. What has your experience been like? I'm very eager to know. Step 3 is to shuffle up your activities. Now, what happens is that if you're doing the same thing again and again, day in and day out, there is a high possibility that your productivity will decline. So what's important is not to get stuck in that rut. If you're repeating, say for instance, if you are writing and you're writing day in and day out, you might feel that you're having a writer's block after a point. So shuffle it up, maybe switch to reading a little bit and then come back to writing later. For instance, for me, I am particularly reading a lot these days. So when I get tired reading, I'll switch my activity up. I'll move into maybe editing videos or taking up a task which is of a different genre and then come back, and that I noticed that tremendously increases my productivity in whatever I'm doing. So shuffle up your activities. Step 4 is don't waste your in-between breaks by watching something on your phone, especially something that's like a series where you end up binge watching. So, for instance, if you're using the Pomodoro technique and you've had 4 ticks on your piece of paper, you're taking a 15 to 30 minute long break. Don't end up watching a series in this, because most often it's going to exceed your 30-minute time bracket, and then you think of, why not finish this one episode and then another one and another one. So avoid watching that. Instead, what you can do in your breaks is do something which is a little more productive. And by productive, I don't mean to say something like, oh my god, I'm anyway taking a break from my productivity, so why do something more productive? What I mean is that do something that has a little more meaning for you. For instance, play a music instrument if you do, or draw something, paint something, journal something, read an article that you've been waiting to read or haven't had the chance to do. So do something that is more in-depth for you. Maybe call up a friend, finish a previous conversation that was pending, or do something that is more meaningful. It is not something that you're blindly following and scrolling through your phone, because what ends up happening is that those activities which involve a lot of screen time back to back end up actually draining us more than refreshing us. So try to again take a break in a different genre than what you already were doing. And lastly, a bonus tip for you for staying on for so long in the video. The most important aspect for productivity is sound sleep. Sound sleep and good rest is the basis of productivity. So how to ensure you get good sound sleep? 1. Avoid drinking too much caffeine, especially at night, be it tea, coffee, or also your aerated drinks. Don't scroll through your phone or binge watch a series on your phone or on your laptop just before going to bed. What happens is, if you have a lot of screen time just before bed, your brain tends to firstly radiates a lot of these emissions which disturb your brain, and also by watching something you're keeping your brain more active. So it takes far too long for you to fall off to sleep than if you're really tired, you hit the bed and then you go to sleep. So you don't want to distract yourself more, and ensure that your bedroom is a cool and dark place where you easily slip into a deep sleep. That's all from me for today. I hope you find these tips useful. I have definitely improved my productivity using these techniques. Do mention in the comments below if you are planning to use any of them and how that experience has been for you. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.